For decades, he was a music industry titan.
He's so handsome.
Known for hits like Been Around the World and launching careers like those of Mary J. Blige and Biggie Smalls and making hip-hop mainstream.
We have some breaking news. A jury will not be picked today in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Court started this morning with 45 potential jurors. The lawyers had hoped to cut that down to the final 12 plus 6 alternates, but now that'll have to wait until Monday. Let's bring it.
Now, the self-proclaimed bad boy for life is facing the chance of life in prison as he goes on trial in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and interstate transportation for prostitution.
Yeah, really, Diane, this seems to stem from the concern that jurors could drop out here. Remember, as you said, they were going in today expecting to whittle down that pool of 45, but when court came to order, the judge revealed that they had already lost 2.
Diddy finally has the key to the city!
With his own record label, reality TV franchises, fashion brand, vodka, tequila, and a cable television channel, Sean Diddy Combs became a fixture on red carpets and in pop culture.
When a celebrity lawyer ignites a firestorm with a single provocative phrase, and a judge personally vows to monitor his every public word, you know things are about to get intense. Mark Geragos, known for defending the rich and infamous, recently dropped a comment about a six-pack of white women prosecutors that sent shockwaves through legal circles. The judge in a high-profile case didn't just take notice. He issued a stern warning, making it clear he'd be tuning into Geragos' podcast, with the threat of contempt charges looming. What exactly did Geragos say to provoke such an extraordinary judicial response? And what does it mean for the explosive trial he seems to be orbiting? The flashpoint was Geragos' description of the prosecutors on his podcast. That six-pack of white women comment immediately drew the judge's ire. This wasn't just a slap on the wrist. The judge reportedly made it crystal clear that any further such remarks could land Geragos in serious hot water, specifically mentioning that the prosecution would likely ask for a contempt citation, and he'd be inclined to agree. For a judge to publicly state they'll be assiduously listening to a lawyer's podcast is almost unheard of, signaling just how close to the line Geragos is perceived to be treading. This sets up a fascinating dynamic. A lawyer known for his outspokenness, now potentially muzzled by the very court overseeing a case he's linked to. This isn't the first time Mark Geragos has danced close to the flames. His career is a highlight reel of high-stakes, often controversial celebrity cases. From Michael Jackson to Chris Brown and Scott Peterson, Geragos has built a reputation for an aggressive defense style and a knack for navigating the media frenzy that often surrounds his clients. Rumors suggest he thrives on this high-wire act, believing that shaping the public narrative is as crucial as the battle in the courtroom. His willingness to make bold, sometimes inflammatory statements has become a signature. But this latest brush with a judge's direct scrutiny feels different, more personal. And the case he's orbiting is packed with its own explosive elements, making his every move even more critical. The mystery deepens when you look at Geragos' connection to Sean Diddy Combs. Is he officially on Diddy's defense team? The lines are incredibly blurry. Geragos has been spotted in the courtroom, reportedly consulting with Diddy's lawyers, passing notes, and even interacting with Diddy himself. Adding another layer, it's been said his own daughter is part of the defense counsel. The judge's direct warning to Geragos, despite his undeclared role, suggests the court certainly views him as an influential figure in Diddy's camp. This ambiguity itself is intriguing. Why the coyness about his official status? Is it a strategic move, or something more complex? What's clear is that his presence, official or not, is unmissable as the trial begins to take shape, immediately running into hurdles. Sean Diddy Combs is facing a barrage of incredibly serious accusations, with his career and freedom hanging in the balance. The charges are grave, involving multiple accusers and allegations that have shocked the entertainment world. Federal agents even raided his properties, underscoring the severity of the investigation. The sheer scale of the case is massive. An expected 2-month trial, potentially over 100 witnesses, whittled down from an initial jury pool of 6,700 people. But even the very first step, jury selection, has hit a snag. What was supposed to be the final phase, narrowing down the potential jurors to the final 18, was just abruptly postponed after the defense requested a delay over the prosecution's objection. The reason? Chaos in the jury pool. Over the weekend, one potential juror reportedly wrote to the court, expressing they wanted out for their well-being. Another was discovered to have lied on their questionnaire, failing to disclose involvement in a lawsuit against New York City. With the pool already reduced to 43, the judge expressed concern that if the remaining jurors were selected immediately, the upcoming 48 hours could lead to even more people dropping out due, in part, to the intense media coverage and potential safety fears surrounding the case. The strategic decision was made to postpone the final selection until Monday, aiming to seat all 18 jurors at once and move straight into opening arguments. It's a clear sign of how fraught this case is, and how difficult it is just to find people willing and able to serve. Adding to the trial's complexities is the looming testimony of Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and a key accuser. Reports claim she is expected to take the stand soon, reportedly while visibly pregnant, presenting a powerful and potentially sympathetic image for the jury. But now, we're getting a clearer look at the defense's strategy against this. In court discussions, the defense has reportedly indicated they will argue that Cassie herself was violent and abusive in the relationship, and therefore couldn't have been coerced into certain situations Diddy is accused of. They plan to argue that Sean believed this alleged behavior just carried over into other aspects of their interactions. This is a critical move, because proving coercion is reportedly a prerequisite for the serious sex trafficking charge Diddy faces. The defense is trying to flip the script, portraying her as a violent fighter to dismantle the coercion argument, creating a stunning contrast with the image she may present on the stand. Beyond Cassie, there's the mystery of a missing key witness. Another alleged victim or witness has reportedly become unavailable, with the prosecution unable to reach them or their attorney due to personal issues. They may not testify. It's been said the prosecution sees this as a minor win, surprisingly because knowing about the absence beforehand prevents them from promising the witness's testimony in opening statements, only for them to disappear later, which could raise suspicions with the jury. This case also involves RICO allegations, raising questions about where the other people allegedly involved in the criminal enterprise are. Speculation suggests that many of these individuals have likely made deals with the prosecution to testify against Diddy. While this brings in potential witnesses, it also opens the door for the defense to argue that these individuals might be fabricating or exaggerating testimony to get favorable treatment, potentially impacting their credibility with the jury. All of this unfolds under the relentless gaze of social media, a factor that could turn the trial on its head, especially with an unsequestered jury facing an estimated 2-month trial. In an age where every tweet, TikTok, and news alert can reach millions instantaneously, the challenge of shielding jurors from outside opinions and information is immense. It's widely believed that it's nearly impossible for jurors to completely avoid exposure, even if instructed to. This case is already drawing comparisons to the O.J. Simpson trial for its scale and media frenzy, and unlike the R. Kelly case which involved minors, the defense here is reportedly leaning on the argument of consenting adults. Geragos himself continues to podcast, now under a judge's direct warning. How does this continued public commentary, by someone so closely linked to the defense, play into a justice system struggling to maintain impartiality in the digital age? It's a modern legal minefield, impacting everything from jury selection to witness testimony. So, Mark Geragos stands at a fascinating crossroads, walking a razor's edge between vigorous advocacy, First Amendment rights, and the very real threat of judicial sanction, all while the Diddy trial begins to reveal its core strategies and challenges. The defense is preparing to make explosive claims about a key accuser's alleged violence. A crucial witness has vanished, and the entire process is playing out under unprecedented public scrutiny fueled by social media. Is Geragos, a master of media manipulation, cleverly using his platform to his client's advantage, or is this a reckless gamble that could backfire spectacularly? The judge's promise to listen in adds an unprecedented layer of personal scrutiny. As the Diddy trial progresses, the world will be watching not just the defendant, but also the lawyer whose controversial words have made him a central figure in this high-stakes drama, questioning whether his actions, and the trial's unfolding dramas, will ultimately help or hinder the quest for justice.